Hi, welcome to Badass Benny 1010. If you are a survivor, AMAC, or human sex trafficking survivor, then you're in the right place. We're going to talk about um, triggers a little bit. And triggers are, let's say if you're an AMAC survivor, and that's AMAC is between 0 and 18 years old, and then above it is the adult. And let's say you're an adult and you're in your 20s and you were raped at 5. Sometimes the trigger can be a smell, a taste, could be the environment, could be a person and how they look, it could be a man or a woman. Um, so there's different variety of triggers that people have, and each person has to figure out what they are, and some people don't know what they are. They're not conscious of it. They're um, don't know they've been triggered, and sometimes people will tell them. And if the other person doesn't know, and the other person, that 20-something-year-old doesn't know that they were raped at 5, maybe they're drinking or to cover up feelings and things like that. So you got to take each person individually. So triggers and flashbacks. People can have. You could be sitting at a coffee shop talking to a best friend, and all of a sudden you're having a flashback at 5 years old, being raped. So um, these are the things that if you feel like you get triggered, please call your RAINN network. I put it on the web page there, on the channel page, and also your local rape crises um, clinic or a hotline if you get triggered. Or if you're in recovery, call your sponsor, you call somebody, you feel like you want to hurt yourself or somebody, okay? Or call the hospital. So I would like to talk about overview of sexual assault. And I have notes here, so I'll be looking at them. And remember, if you have questions, can you write them down in the comments? And like and subscribe. That helps me to get known and to get the word out about what I'm talking about here. So, feelings most frequently experiencing following sexual assault, and sexual assault is SA, an acronym for it. And there's all kinds of sexual assault, so we're just going to go with a man and a woman, heterosexual. It could be a penis in the vagina or the penis in the butt, or a lesbian, there's rape too. And that could be with the dildo or hand, fingers. And so sexual assault happens to men too, gay men as well. Um, so one of the things is common when you feel like I've been violated. I feel like this wasn't sex, this was rape. And some of the things that you could be feeling, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, is fear. Fear of being alone and or being in crowds, like big crowds. It could be like, I remember, people can stand up, 20,000 people can stand up in the air, and that could be a trigger right there, and you want to run out the door. Um, a rapist returning or being attacked by someone else. Fear of everyone as a potential attacker. So some people, their rapes have been by strangers, not just by incest or by family members. And 85% of, I think it's incest survivors, it's higher than in strangers. 85% of rapes is by a family member or in the family. And statistics change, and the last time I did all this was in 2010, so you have to forgive me. And you can catch me on things, hey, I'm not perfect here. Fear of everyone as a potential attacker, fear of places, people, things that remind them of the assault, fear of others finding out what they think of them. So after assault, some people think that everybody knows what happened to them. They know that I got raped. Fear of their own children being assaulted, fear of their own rage. That's very common. Fear of men in general, and women rape too. It's not just men. Fear of women, lack of trust, inability to make judgments of people in general, people of the same gender as perpetrator. There's a lack of trust. Powerlessness and depression after a sexual assault. Feel they've lost control over their body and life. Feel helpless to effect change. Powerless and depression, feel it when that person never will get better. Feel totally victimized by the assault. Feel totally victimized by society. Like, oh, your dress was your skirt was too short, and you deserved that. Or you were drunk, and you were laid out on this, or you were being loose, or, all these negative common things. And when someone's drinking and they're drunk, they can't consent to sex. That's in the state of California. So, also, there is feelings of denial. Oh, this didn't happen. There's no way this happened. And a lot of the time, especially if it's acquaintance rape, someone, or friend, your best friend, or an acquaintance you've known for a long time, or denial of the importance and significance of what happened. So a lot of people don't go get their sex rape kits, especially men. I'm going to get in the middle here. I'm sorry, I have to move around a lot. So also feeling guilty that they had a prior, feeling that they had a prior to the assault. Maybe some people might blame it on when they were little, their assault when they're little, and that's why they got hurt as they got older. Overall, feelings most frequently experienced following sexual assault. For having caused the rape, that is very common. Like, if I didn't wear that skirt, that wouldn't happen to me. Or if I didn't go over that person's house, or if my friend did it, there's always something. We always need to put the rape back on the perpetrator. Doesn't matter who it is. Guilt for not resisting more, fighting back, or you didn't run away, or why didn't you, fight back, run away, or, a lot of people get paralyzed too. They can't move. Guilt for not being strong enough to overcome the attacker. Guilt for being stupid enough to get into that situation. Guilt for all the reactions they are having. Guilt for not being able to nurture others at this time. A lot of people after sexual assault don't want to have sex. And then the significant other, and we'll talk about that, how to help your person when they got raped or sexually assaulted. Guilt for all the reactions they're having, for not being able to nurture others. Okay, we say that. Guilt for not having engaged in sex against their religion or culture. So people can't have sex before they're married, or they're Jewish or what have you. For not listening to their gut, listening your intuitiveness that, oh, something's not right here. Something doesn't feel right. We have some housed AMAC survivors. There's a tendency to minimize it, to deny it. There's a lot of anger and blame. So at the total disruption of their life, a lot of people lose their jobs. They can't go to school. They maybe gotten A's and now are getting F's. They're not able to get their butts up and get to work, or you find people not taking care of themselves, staying in the home, can't leave their house. Depends on what happened. Anger and blame at themselves for letting it happen. Anger and blame at their significant others for not understanding or not protecting them. Anger and blame of society and the system, especially right now. Especially right now when we have a sitting president that's a he's a criminal pedophile. He's a serial rapist, convicted. And what does that say about our whole society? It's saying it's okay. There's a lot of people angry and rage right now at Pam Bondi, the Department of Justice, for not handling the Epstein files correctly, and that's what helped start this channel, was Virginia Guthrie. And I have a missing video I need to put on here. The original one was about a year ago. I'll put on here. Some people are angry and blame the assailant. They want to kill and castrate, humiliate him or her. And I'll tell you, a lot of perpetrators are AMAC survivors themselves. And then, there's so much I could say. There's a lot I want to say, but I have to focus. So, there's also, this is a big one too, let's see, at the counselor. Sometimes there's anger and blame at the counselor for making them face the pain. You know, to get honest. One thing is about getting honest. There's no way you can heal if you're going to lie. There's no way. If you're not going to, you got to get out of the denial. Once you get out of that denial, then you have a chance. Some people feel shame and embarrassment. They feel dirty, broken, damaged, humiliated, despoiled. Feel everyone can tell by looking at them. Shame and embarrassment, feel they allowed it to happen. There's betrayal by the assailant if someone they trusted, however briefly. By God, by reactions of significant others. It could be a boyfriend said, well, you know, there could be a blame, or a girlfriend can blame, or a family member, that's what you get, or, you know, instead of putting the blame back on the perpetrator. Betrayal by reactions by society and the system, by their own bodies. Sometimes people, when they get raped, they'll have an orgasm. That's what bodies do, you know. What you're hoping is that we're in love, and, you know, and rape isn't sex, it isn't love. When a male is sexually assaulted, he may experience many of the same feelings that a female assault survivor does. Okay? Men are socialized to believe that men are not sexually assaulted. For most men, sexual assault is the ultimate humiliation. This may induce profound anxiety, depression, fearfulness, and identity confusion. A lot of men think they're gay. It's not necessarily the truth. Fearing that assault will make them homosexual. He may feel totally alone and without sensitive resources. There's resources out there. It's just finding the courage to ask for it. And men and boys get raped. More common than girls. I think it was 1 in 4. It was in 2010. Let's see. That's why I gotta look up statistics. But with boys, I think it was 1 in 4 on girls, 1 in 7 in boys. But I think it's higher in boys because boys don't talk as much, men, as the girls. And a lot of times the men don't know it's rape because it's in the bottom. They don't know, usually rape is in the vagina, right? It's not the butt. And then we could talk about also religion. Catholics too. They don't see it as rape if you get, you know, in the bottom, in the butt. Something to do with something, I can't remember. It'll come to me later. Overall, he may feel totally alone and without sensitive resources. He may find it easier to express anger than the more vulnerable feelings, and to use it as a cover for his underlying fear and hurt. And that's why you see a lot of men out here. There's a lot of rage. And a lot of men are getting triggered, and women in the world, by Trump being president, and the Epstein files, and it's worldly. This is international crime of human sex trafficking. We all must accept this and must not allow the elites to get away with murder and hurting young girls and boys. We have to stand up as mothers and fathers and listen to the facts, okay? And not just react. We must respond. But I believe that we must have arrest now in the United States. We are not having any kind of arrest made in America for the Epstein files, and we're the only ones that are not doing that. And this is America. This is the United States. We're not a third world country. We're supposed to be role modeling. And this isn't it. We're in a very, very dark time. And arrests need to be made now. And God help us all.